Hello, I'm Chris Coombs, and this is The Truth in Diabetes. So, got an interesting request from a friend of mine, Jim. Jim's a big follower and supporter of The Truth in Diabetes, yet does not have diabetes himself. So again, Jim, thank you for your support of this project. So the other day, Jim sends me a post, and he says, you know, a friend of mine just found out she has gestational diabetes. You ought to do a post on that. Okay, well, here's the deal. I have absolutely zero experience, don't know hardly a thing about gestational diabetes because, well, here's the deal. I can't get pregnant, can't give birth, can't do that. So I know very little about that. So I thought, you know, okay, sure, I've been asked on this one before, and so here we go. We're going to talk gestational diabetes. Now, this information comes from the National Diabetes Information Clearinghouse. There's actually a great article on this. If you need more information, go to thetruthindiabetes.com, click on the blog, and you'll find an entry on this with a lot more detail under gestational diabetes, the male perspective. So here we go. So what is gestational diabetes? Gestational diabetes is a form of diabetes that the onset comes with pregnancy. That's when people find out they have diabetes, gestational diabetes. Now, only 1 in 100 or so people, 3 to 8 people out of 100, according to this article, actually end up with gestational diabetes. So what causes gestational diabetes? Well, changing hormones and weight gain are a part of a healthy pregnancy. Both changes make it hard for your body to keep up with its need for a hormone called insulin. Boom, there's the diabetes part of it. So what happens when your body doesn't get the energy it needs from the food you eat? Well, that's when your body starts producing acid and starts to digest itself, and there's a lot more information. This could be like a 20-minute post. We're going to keep this really brief. So what is my risk of gestational diabetes? And forgive me for looking away because I'm reading this. Let's say, how do you know? What are warning signs to watch for? You have a parent or a sibling that has diabetes. If you're African American, American Indian, Asian American, Hispanic, Latino, or Pacific Islander. If you're over 25 years old. If you're already obese. If you've had gestational diabetes before or given birth to at least one baby weighing more than 9 pounds. Also, if you've been told that you've got pre-diabetes, that's where your blood sugars are running higher than the average non-diabetic. So if you've got any of those risk factors, you are at high risk. If you maybe checked one of those, it's saying that you're maybe more of you do have some risk, high risk if you're overweight, have had gestational diabetes before, and have a strong family history of diabetes. Okay, your average risk if any of those factors apply to you, and your low risk if none of those factors apply. Okay, so when will you be checked for diabetes? At some point in time, you're going through the pregnancy, your healthcare provider is probably going to do a check just to see where you're at there. Forgive me here while I shuffle my pages a little bit. Got about 10 pages of notes on this one. So what they're going to do is they're going to check your blood sugar. What are normal blood sugars? Again, click on the article, please. There's lots of information on this. Sometimes they do, just a finger prick. Sometimes there's an oral glucose test. Now, here's a big one. How will gestational diabetes affect your baby? Okay, baby is probably going to be born large and with extra fat. Okay, also, oftentimes that baby is born with low blood sugar. Again, all this information, don't feel like you got to take notes. It's going to be on the blog post. Sometimes there's risk of breathing problems, and if you have gestational diabetes, your healthcare team may recommend some extra tests to check on your baby, ultrasounds, kick counts, working closely with your healthcare team. And again, this is something I should have said right from the beginning, but again, me, Chris Coombs, running The Truth in Diabetes, I am not a doctor. I can't give you medical advice. I can't treat any type of diabetes-related issue. All this is information coming from my experience, my knowledge, my own internet research that I did today to share this with you. So how do we treat gestational diabetes? Well, this is pretty textbook, and this one probably will bother you a little bit, but yeah, you're going to follow a diet, you're going to get exercise, and you're going to take medication, usually insulin, if that's needed. And again, you're going to want to work closely with your health team on this one. So again, you're going to have to watch what you're eating, limit your sugar, exercise, you should be doing that anyway, and if needed, you have to supplement some medication in there. So I mean, those are the big things, those are the main components of this gestational diabetes. And again, I'm only one knucklehead doing this project, so if you have experience with this, feel free to chime in. I'm going to post this on YouTube. You can comment there, you can comment on Facebook. Facebook.com/The Truth in Diabetes, or there is the blog, truthindiabetes.com. Okay, after your baby, chances are they're going to test you again. They will. Because sometimes the gestational diabetes hangs around, sometimes it doesn't. But you are at risk for having type 2 diabetes later in life. So how do you work on that? Watch your weight. Make sure that you're at a healthy weight. If you're overweight, that's the biggest thing that causes type 2 diabetes right there. So you got to make sure, again, that you're eating healthy and exercising. Okay? Also, make sure you get in plenty of exercise, and again, follow a healthy eating plan. So those are the main things of gestational diabetes. That's what you want to watch for. And again, I've gone into much, much more detail on this on my blog. But again, thank you for supporting The Truth in Diabetes. I'm here to support even people that I know very little about what you're going through when it comes to something like gestational diabetes. But hey, diabetes is diabetes, and if I can do something about this thing called diabetes, I'm all over it. Again, thank you for supporting this little project called The Truth in Diabetes. And remember, disease or destiny, even if you're pregnant, it's your choice.